We've got this from the AP. Maduro says Venezuela is ready to respond to U.S. military presence in the Caribbean, and a top Biden-era official is warning the U.S. could stumble into disastrous intervention in Venezuela. The argument being that Maduro is not going to tolerate the U.S. military operations in the Caribbean, and then the U.S. is going to stumble. I don't think it's a stumbling. I think the U.S. intentionally will be like, time to go in, boys. But the concern now is, as Donald Trump keeps saying, you know, we don't want to be involved in these wars far away in the Middle East, he does keep talking about the cartels in Mexico as well as Tren de Aragua. So if there is the potential for escalation, it's closer to home. It's Venezuela. You guys think that Trump is going to get us is going to intervene and get us involved in Venezuela?
I don't particularly think that there's a large chance, a significant chance that we're going to go into Venezuela, actually boots on the ground. I think strikes like this will continue. Look, at the end of the day, the cartels are out to make money. And if all of their shipments, or not all of their shipments, but if a significant portion of their shipments keep getting blown up, I imagine they're going to say, all right, it's not worth it to try and ship it into the U.S.
Can we reinstitute colonization? Can we become colonialists again?
I love.
I
feel like we still are.
Greenland has tons of resources, and the amount of oil that those losers have, like it
they can't access anymore.
Saudi Arabia. Let's get in there. Let's invade Venezuela. I'm not joking.
Regime change in Venezuela.
Got a lot of oil.
How are you? How do you have so much oil, more than Canada, more than Mexico, more than Saudi Arabia, and you're loser central?
Because they kicked out all the companies that were actually
because they're communists.
Then
Proficient.
bye.
Well, that's the thing.
Move.
So invade.
What did we do in Iran? We pushed out the Shah. We got a bunch of losers in there. They accidentally had a revolution, and we went, oops, I guess we shouldn't have meddled in there. Like, we were always meddling and not getting the money. You know what Ann Coulter said to me once? She goes, I hate that these sheiks all over the Middle East, they have so much money, and they don't know how to get the oil out of the ground. We did that. And then they get the money. We should have gone there and just said, I'm paraphrasing Ann right now. We should have just gone like, hi, you have this dirty black guck in your water supply. And we'll be removing that now for $100 a month. And then, like, what do they do with their money? They drive on cars with two wheels on the side. And they have a harem that they skull F.
There was a someone told me a funny story about how there was a small village in Saudi Arabia, and when they found oil just like under part of the village, within 5 years, everybody in the village was wearing thick gold chains and rings, but everything else stayed the same. Like they still lived in little adobe hut kind of things.
I was talking to Chris about that island in Polynesia where the coral generates this intense carbon that you sprinkle on your crops and everyone gets rich, and so everyone was a millionaire overnight. And they can't grow their own crops because their coral carbon crap is too intense. So they would just import like Popeyes, and so they all became this like turgid billionaires in Lamborghinis that they didn't know how to drive. Like you can't help certain cultures that are just not as advanced as ours. You need to go through cold Siberian winters to know how to spend your money. Sorry.
So, as far as this story goes, there's a few things. There's a few different things going on. So first of all, these cartels are terrorist organizations, have been designated as such, and so all of these boats are legitimate military targets, as far as I'm concerned. We've been having a military buildup outside of Venezuela, and there are a lot of reasons why regime change would make sense there. And there's a few different ways to geopolitically look at this. First of all, it would deal with the cartels. It would also help mitigate the immigration crisis that we're seeing from Venezuela and other South American countries. Also, us getting the oil would be a huge deal. We have the correct oil refineries for Venezuelan oil, which is like thick and sour, so-called thick and sour oil. So this could help mitigate Russia's benefits off of cheap oil right now that they're sending around the globe. So like we could help spike those prices down, drop those prices if we were able to get that Venezuelan oil out.
So we should invade Venezuela.
We should encourage the Venezuelan people to rise up against their fascistic communist captors.
Okay, I got an idea. Now, if we want to avoid full-scale war with Venezuela, right?
Ooh, I'm scared.
Well, but it's
Full-scale war.
But you don't go to 10 right away. You don't crank it all the way up real quick, right? We want to if we can avoid war and take them over, it's better than going to war, right? We save money.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I got an idea. What if the U.S. just hear me out, allocated through Congress funds to a U.S. organization that operated under the guise of international aid, but was actually fomenting revolution in foreign countries, and then we call it something like, American aid or U.S.
USAID. I like
USAID. That works. Yeah, Trump should start that. Could you imagine if we had something like that?
That's my attitude with every time the left plays dirty pool. I'm like, where's our dirty pool? Like
Have one.
Putin has this thing, Little Green Men, where he sends in guys in green uniforms to foment revolution, and I'm like, okay,
And the Wagner Group.
Well, I mean, that's basically
I'm doing that. I want that in Venezuela.
Well, we had
Quick trip to
That's what the
Venezuela
Green
with the
Berets
boys.
that in Greenland.
That's
like,
what
let's do that.
USAID was.
Yeah, well,
Everyone's playing dirty pool but us.
but that,
Well,
well,
the problem is USAID was woke, and it was
Right.
Let's
do an unwoke
Listen, it was
USAID.
not pushing American interests. It was convincing third world. It was forcing third world countries to adopt policies towards accepting LGBTQ activism and transgenderism. And the people like in Afghanistan were like, "Why is this on my wall?" And then we're sitting in America being like, "Literally, what is the American interest in promoting LGBTQ activism in Afghanistan?" Now, if you said we want the oil from Venezuela, sure, I can understand that. We can have a debate about whether we should or shouldn't, but at least that would make sense mathematically.
Yeah. It's like you're confiscating their pit bull, and they're like, oh, you're going to put my pit bull down? No, it's my pit bull now.
So this story has really gone underreported, and I think it's worthwhile to listen to a couple of the quotes coming out of the administration to show how serious they are about this. So a couple of quotes from Caroline Leavitt. One is, President Trump has been very clear and consistent. He's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice. The Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is a narco terror cartel. Maduro, in the view of this administration, is not the legitimate president. He's a fugitive head of a cartel who has been indicted in the U.S. for trafficking drugs into the country. Those are fighting words, in my
What an
estimation.
inbred loser. You have more oil than basically anyone ever. I think he's in the top 3, 4, 5 maybe oil producers in the universe, and he's focusing on coke.
Do you remember when the people of Venezuela were starving, and so Maduro went on TV to give an address to the nation, and he didn't realize the cameras were on him the whole time, so he opened a drawer, pulled out an empanada, took a big bite, and then put it back, and everyone was like, "What? What is?" He legit did that.
Yeah.
He's a fat guy in a starving nation with a drawer with an empanada. It's like, buddy, could you not wait 10 minutes before you ate your empanada? That's Venezuela.
Let them eat empanadas.
Look, like what you were talking about, like having like little green men. That's literally the job of the Green Berets. They get dropped into hostile territory and they align with the local people that will fight. They try and form a militia, teach them how to fight. So we actually do have the capacity to do it still. Now, whether or not the United States will do it, I mean, I don't know.
There just needs to be a group of guys standing back and standing by, just ready in case any violence comes onto the street, and we need people protected.
Yes.
You know, patriots from Antifa and different
unashamed
socialists
guys.
on the street.
They should be called the unashamed
Can I
guys.
just this is true. This is 2017. He was giving an address to the nation, and he decided to eat an empanada while live. I guess he thought that the camera had like switched over to something. Bro, it's just like if you waited 5 minutes, you could have eaten your empanada. That's Venezuela.
The world is brutally corrupt. The drugs are everywhere. The guns aren't going away. Like, this is my problem with the right. They see Biden pull out these hockey bags of votes, right? And they're like, oh my God, we got to stop the hockey bags. I'm like, look, it's Mad Max. It's post-apocalyptic. Where's our hockey bags? Like, everyone's cheating. We're cheating.
You know what? We've been talking about this quite a bit. I'm curious your thoughts. For the past several years, we've talked quite a bit about the political space. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty much, I don't even really care anymore because the population crisis is substantially more, let's call it heavier. It's gonna matter substantially more than whether or not there's an election. I'm curious your thoughts on where we end up in the next 5 years, considering, I'll put it this way, Gen Alpha is half the size of Gen Z.
Yeah.
So it's a mathematical impossibility to recover unless Gen Alpha has 6 kids each.
Well, there's two things going on at once, and they're both antithetical. There's this insane influx of immigrants, and even before Biden, there was I would say 30 million illegals in America. He let in 12 million. That's Ellis Island's entirety over 80 years. So even if Trump deports 10,000 a day for the remaining of his term, we're still back to 30 million. So you have that problem, and then you have the problem of course, locals not breeding. And they're not a good combo. I don't know. There's something about God put this little microchip in every group. I used to say it was whites, but it's every group. When they get successful, they stop breeding. I don't know why that is. Like Mexicans, as they make more money, they have less kids. The Japanese have this same crisis.
It's called behavioral sync, and we believe all mammals do it.
Australia.
I don't like that. Have more kids when you have more money. Have less kids when you have less money. It's like a design flaw in nature for some reason.
You know about the rat utopia experiment, right?
Yeah.
When the rats had infinite food and water, what did they do? They started doing They do exactly what humans are doing now. Humans are exhibiting behavioral sync. But my concern is, in the short term, we talk about big mail-in bags and votes, and Trump is talking about we got to get rid of mail-in voting, and then there's conversations about war, and I'm like, in 5 years, all your grocery stores are going to start going out of business. You're not going to be able to get certain fruits or vegetables out of season anymore. Your beef, that's going to be
just close the borders and figure it out. I mean, there's so many different factors. Like, a few people are talking about this. The West is contingent on a lot of things. Western culture was built on cold winters, for one. I got to pickle stuff, or I'm going to starve. I also think I have to be ultra benevolent. I got to help the retard, or can I say that? Or we're all.
That's the second time already. So,
have you? I imagine you've spent time in like Mediterranean cultures.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Or the heat?
No, the laziness.
Yeah, it's brutal.
So
look at the food. What is
siesta?
What's your favorite Costa Rican food?
No.
There's no such thing. Puerto Rican food, it's a hot banana with a little leaf on it, and then they tie it with a string. What the hell am I eating? A boiled string banana?
Hold on. I got to stop you there, buddy. Okay, I can't speak for Puerto Rico. They have something similar, but I think it's Dominican. Mango, you ever have that?
No.
Okay, for breakfast, you get boiled mashed plantains with pickled onions, fried salami, and fried cheese, and it's like the best breakfast.
Okay,
ever.
fried salami and cheeses, that's me.
And that's what they eat.
So it's like the Indians. I love their little beaded shoes, but those beads are mine. Like half the time any culture has anything good, it's like my shit.
Okay, let me say though. Spain, right? I went to southern Spain, and they have the best ham I've ever had. Fantastic.
Okay. Well, Spain is the West.
Sure, except they're also siesta. They're a siesta culture.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's terrible. So it's
a 2-hour nap in the middle of the day.
And I have to work. So I'm on a schedule and I have obligations. And so I'm in southern Spain and it's like 1 o'clock and I'm like, I better go grab lunch right now while I still have time. Everything's closed. And I'm like, when does it open? Like 4. I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? I got to eat.
You know what? You can afford to live like that when you live in a culture that has outlawed cousin marriage.
Now, have you been to Athens?
We are importing... Hold on. We are importing cultures that don't outlaw cousin marriage.
We don't outlaw cousin marriage.
They are inbred. Yeah, we do.
Let me pull up the exact number.
you're in West Virginia, right?
No, I think.
Well, there's people that cheat, but generally the Western world over the past
20 U.S.
500
states,
years has been
20 U.S. states allow cousin marriage, and New York allows you to gay marry your cousin.
Oh boy.
Oh, is that to say you can't gay marry your cousin in the other states?
There's like I think 2 or 3 states that allow gay marriage and cousin marriage. So
you can't really be inbred if you're gay. Like your poo is going to be inbred.
So here's how it works. There's a certain number of states that allow gay marriage, a certain number of states that allow cousin marriage, and a couple that have unregulated gay cousin marriage. Now, obviously, with Obergefell and the Supreme Court rulings, all states are required to recognize gay marriage now. So there's a lot more states, 20, that allow you to gay marry cousin.
It's not our culture. It happens. It may be legal somewhere, but
it's not normal.
As far as our DNA
it's
goes,
frowned upon.
We're not made of cousin marriage. Most of the people we're importing now are made of cousin marriage.
It is.
And when you take our best asset, not cousin breeding, and you import the worst part of the rest of the world, you have this poop soup.
Well, so let me give the hard details for people who aren't familiar. In the Middle East, it is extremely common to marry your cousin.
It's in the Quran.
It's a culturally normal thing, and we know scientifically that it results in an increased aggression and a decrease in IQ.
Chink.
This is why my Joe Rogan episode is banned, by the way.
Because you brought
I
up.
said this, and it's very bad to do once. It's not great to do twice. You breed your cousins 50 generations.
Is it, wait, they banned your episode over this? Hey, look, here's a Wikipedia article, cousin marriage in the Middle East.
Both my Joe Rogan
is-
episodes are banned because I brought up this unbelievably terrible subject.
Really?
You mentioned Pakistan in particular. I think they have.
Pakistan in Britain is
So let me
9 different things on top of each other.
let me read this. Rates of cousin marriage in the Middle East have been found to vary from 29% in Egypt to 58% in Saudi Arabia.
Don't pull that up, Jamie. We're going to get banned.
But hold on, I want to stress this is Wikipedia, right? If YouTube's got a problem with a Wikipedia article saying this is a thing that we say
Jamie
happens,
pulled up.
really, and they banned it.
Yeah.
That's wild. I actually thought this was a fairly common and mainstream
You know
understanding.
what's great about being banned is no one knows you're banned. So people are like, you were on Joe Rogan and I haven't seen your tweets recently. And I'm like, my Joe Rogans are banned. My Twitter's banned. I'm banned.
Dude, how are you still banned? Everybody's unbanned. You're the only guy left. Laura Loomer, Alex Jones,
And I
Nick
want to
Fuentes,
stress this.
everybody's back. But
In a few
I
minutes,
guess I'm just much more influential than you guys.
we're going to talk about what I'm calling Floydgate. And so there are these string of hilarious racist jokes, and it's targeting white people too. I don't it's not a left or right thing. They get millions of views on Instagram. Instagram is just reveling in AI generated race jokes, and that's why it's pretty crazy.
How the F do you ban them?
Well, they banned you. Like, that's the point.
I
Like,
know, but an AI cartoon of George Floyd, so you'd have to tell your algorithm, ban George Floyd's face, and then it's like a memorial for how great he is, and that gets banned. So they don't know what to ban.
The double standard we saw on the big tech platforms in the 2010s. You had liberals posting wood chippers saying they wanted to throw Christian children into it, and Twitter wouldn't ban them. And then someone says #learn to code and gets banned. It's easy for them to enforce a double standard. So what my point right now is it's crazy to hear that you are still banned on X when you go on Instagram and there was one video with 7 million views just mocking Indian people for not showering.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's tons of them. They're everywhere. And it's like it's 6.8 million views on this video, and all the comments are laughing. And I'm like, the pendulum has swung really hard in the other direction. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.